All right, we're going to do another beta reduction, practicing our lambda calculus. These are exercises from the book Haskell Programming by First Principles. Great book. It's copywritten, so we can do the exercises together and talk about them, but I can't kind of show the book. So that's what we're doing here. So here's the exercise. I'm going to copy it down. Sorry it's a little blurry. I can't really figure out a better way to do this. Um, so here's the problem. Lambda xyz, xyz, that's the head. And then the body is xz, yz. So that's the first expression. Those parentheses match. And then we have a second expression. The head is m, n, and the body is m. And then we have the last expression, which is the identity function pp. Whatever you give to p, this function, it's going to just return it. That's why it's the identity function. And now we're going to do beta reduction on this. So let's put it in a more standard form where these are like curried functions here. So one way to think about this is this function takes in multiple parameters x, y, z. But like for reduction purposes, it's easier to think of it as like here. Let me give an example of how we reduce this. So if you have a function that takes in two variables, that's equivalent, is focusing, to having a function that takes one variable, right? And in the body, it returns a function that takes a single other variable and it returns xy. So you see that these two things are the same thing. Um, so you can imagine you pass in the first parameter here, returns you a function, and then you pass in the second parameter to this function, it gives you xy. So that's why it's the same thing as this. All right, so we're going to reduce this first one to that format. Sorry, we're going to standardize it. So xyz becomes x dot, a function that returns y dot, a function that returns z, returns a function that takes in z, and then we just, the rest of it's just copying the body over. X, z, y, z, paren. Let's match it. So here's this paren, here's that paren. We need two more. We're looking like Lisp here, right? That's no accident. And then the rest, this mn, we'll do the same thing. We take a function that takes in m, returns a function that takes in n, and returns m. There we go. And then this is all already reduced with the identity function. So that's the problem we have that we're working with. Now, here's our first expression, right? This whole thing with that takes in an x. So what's x? It's this first argument, this function that takes in an m. So we're going to say, let's assign x. Let's replace x with that. So I'm going to copy that. M, N, M. Right? So anytime we see x in this body, we're going to replace it with the parameter. So here we go. We get rid of this head because we're actually evaluating it. Whoops, y dot z dot. Now we have an x, so we're going to replace that x there, that one, with this thing. So here we go. I'm just copying this straight in. Right, so there's our x. followed by a z, followed by a yz, and then we got rid of one of the parentheses because we're evaluating here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we only need 3. 1, 2, 3. We're getting rid of this argument because we just did the substitution, and then we keep the identity function at the end. So that's what we have. It's probably good to check that we still have matching parens, because if you screw it up, which I do often, um, you end up with the wrong answer, obviously. Okay, so we have this one big expression and we have this as a parameter. So we're going to assign y to this expression, the identity function. So now we're going to go and substitute. So we got rid of the y, and we have z dot m dot lambda n dot m. And now we have a z. That's not what we're replacing, so we just copy that. And now we have a y. So we're going to replace it. This y here we're replacing. It's now going to be this identity function, whoops, followed by a z, followed by 1, 2, 3, but one less because we got rid of this one. So it's 2 parentheses. And then we got rid of the last argument because that's what we put into y. So this is what we have that we're working with. This is one big expression because the parentheses all match, right? Which means we have no argument to put into z here. So we're going to look inside now, left to right, and we're going to see what we can reduce here. So here is the head. Here's the body. The body ends, the first function here ends here, and it has an argument z. So what we can do is we can replace m in here with z. So that's going to give us, this still stays the same because we're not applying anything. It has no argument, so we can't do anything there. And now this goes away because we're evaluating it. So we're going to now put z in this guy, the nm. Well, anytime we see m, we're going to replace it with z. So here we go. We do n dot z, right? Because m is now z. There we go. And that replaces this. We copy the rest down. Right? And we can check the matching parens. There we go. Now what do we have? This is still one full expression. There's no argument here, so we have to look inside. Here's our first function. Whatever it takes in, it's going to return z, right? I think this is called a free variable. Let me just double check the name of that term. Let's see, free variables. If there is a variable in the body that's not named in the head, so you see this is named in the body, it's not named in the head, this is called a free variable because it's always going to, you can't substitute it, right? So it's basically going to come back no matter what. It's like a constant, sort of. So if we think of this here, as the argument to this function, we know it's always going to return z. So we can kind of like really ignore this whole thing. and just return. The answer is going to be z dot z, because we're going to replace um, n with this, but n's not in here, so it's just going to return z, and then we end up with the identity function. But we could evaluate this also if we cared to, and this is going to return z, right? Because we substitute p with z, and we end up with z, but we don't care because this is a free variable. Anyway, I hope that explanation actually made some sense. Our answer is ZZ, and we've solved the problem. This is irreducible. There's no argument that we can put into Z here, so we can't reduce it any further. Put any questions you have or any confusing points in the comments. Um, or if I did anything wrong or explained anything wrong, please let me know. All right, we'll be doing more of these as we get through this book. 2026 is the year of learning Haskell. See you later. Bye.